Did you know that simply writing down your goals makes you 42% more likely to actually achieve them? Folks, this is your real estate coach, Adrian Terry with Thrive Agent Solutions, and I want to walk you through a quick goal setting exercise for real estate agents that's going to bring so much clarity into your world. And guys, it's really, really simple. I've got a great spreadsheet, all of that stuff. It's going to be really awesome. Stick with me for just a few moments. All right, here we go. So every single year, and guys, look, it is now December, so we are all thinking about next year's goals, aren't we? Well, listen, I hope you are, at least if you're a real estate agent. And in my years of experience in coaching and consulting with top producers, here's the thing that I have seen across the board. The folks who achieve more write down their goals. They have a goal, they have a target, they understand exactly what they want to accomplish next year, and then they build a solid business plan around that goal and that target. Now, what I do see a lot is that a lot of agents actually struggle to come up with a goal. And here's the thing, follow me. A lot of people, they want to start talking about financial. Well, I want to make 100 grand. Guys, that's the most, like across the board, that is the most common number that I hear is $100,000. When I ask agents, how much money do you want to make? I always hear 100 grand. So today we're actually going to focus on that. However, here's the thing. A lot of times when I say, okay, well, is that net or gross? I get a little bit of a blank look because they actually haven't thought about that. Everybody wants to make $100,000, but they haven't really thought about what goes into making that $100,000. So today we're going to focus on net $100,000 because I don't know about you, but I don't want to gross 100 grand, have my cost of sales, have my expenses, have all the things that I have to pay for, and then get what's left over. I want to net 100 grand. That's after taxes, after expenses, after all those things. I want the 100 grand in my pocket, in my bank account, and me actually being able to invest or spend or save or do whatever it is that I want to do with that money. So let's go to the worksheet real quick. We're going to start from the top and we're going to build into this. And I promise you guys, this is going to be so easy. You're going to love this worksheet. So here's a quick thing about this is number one, make sure that you do not write or do not type anything into this worksheet that is not in the yellow. Because if you type in the white, you're going to actually ruin the formulas that are in there, and you're gonna have to re-download the entire sheet. With that said, go to the description of this video here on YouTube, or if you're on Facebook, follow the YouTube link. You can actually download this worksheet straight off of my website and you can follow along. In fact, there's a few resources there that I used in my business planning workshop just a couple weeks ago that I think you'll find really useful. So let's go ahead and get started. So remember, we said we wanted to build into $100,000 net income. Now, folks, when we talk about that, we're talking after expenses, after brokerage fees, after cost of sales and all of those things. So 100 grand net income for next year. Now, the next line down here, you'll see line B, that is my company dollar, my brokerage, my royalty, anything that we have to pay for. Now, here in our market, we also have MLS fees. We have two MLSs and FMLS. If you're in the Georgia market, they charge 0.0012% of every single sale that you do. So we're going to do a little bit of just kind of roundabout math to account for all of those things. Now, if you're a Keller Williams agent in the Georgia market, in the Atlanta market, I know that your total cap with brokerage fees and with royalties is $18,000 a year. That is your cap. So we know we got $18,000, and then I'm going to throw in another $6,000 for FMLS fees. So we're going to call that $24,000 on that line right there. All right, so that is your cost of sale. Now, let me back up a little bit and make sure I clarify, because a lot of times we hear from people, what is cost of sale versus what are expenses? Well, cost of sale is a sale that's an expense or a cost that is triggered by the sale of a property. Meaning, a lot of times people will confuse the two because they'll go, well, what about if I send postcards to get leads? Technically, it is not a cost of sale. It's a marketing expense. That's something I'm doing to generate the business. The cost of sale is a thing like paying the brokerage fee, because it only happens when I actually have to do the transaction, or in this case, the FMLS fees or the royalties or anything else that's triggered by a sale. So I'll let you guys do the math on that. We're going to keep it simple today, $24,000. All right, so line number 4 here, line C. Oops, it looks like I messed up my formula right there. I'm going to change that back to line B. Perfect. All right, so line number C here, or line C, that's my operating expenses. Folks, everybody's business is going to be different depending on where you generate your leads, where you generate your business, and where all of that comes from. That's going to be different for every single person. I'm going to tell you that to net $100,000, I would guess that you're spending in the neighborhood of around $15,000 to $20,000 per year on your expenses. Now, your expenses, if you're somebody who does not budget, doesn't have a P&L, this is going to be a tough one for you. So I'm going to encourage you to go back, look at your business, look at your expenses for this year, understand where you spent your money, and then set a budget for 2022 and come up with that, and then do your best to stay inside that budget. But here's the key. The key is you have to track it every month. You've got to have a P&L that you track this every single month with, so you understand how you're spending your money, where the business is coming from, and what your true return on investment is for your business. So again, to keep things simple here, I'm going to put a round number of $20,000 for operating expenses. That should cover a whole ton of marketing and different things to make you that $100,000. Now, line D, this one right here, this one, it's already figured out, $30,000 for taxes. We want to set that aside. Don't mess with Uncle Sam. Get that money put aside. All right, so then we have line E, and we have this number right here, $174,000. What this is telling us is that according to these numbers, you've got to gross $174,000. You're going to pay the taxes, you're going to pay the expenses, pay your cost of sales, and you're going to be left over with $100,000 in your pocket. Now, remember, when I ask people, what do you want to make? And sometimes I get that blank stare when I say, well, is that gross or net? It's because they haven't done the math. And folks, you see right here, for you to net $100,000 with these numbers, you've actually got to gross $174,000. That is a whole different goal, and you'll see how that kind of shakes out. So let's do average projected sale price. In our area here, it's about $375,000. So we're going to go ahead and type in $375,000 right there. And that gives us, at 2.5% commission on average, $9,375 per transaction. Do I want to get 3% on every transaction? You betcha, 100%. However, I also understand that things happen. I understand that some listings don't offer a 3% co-op fee. So I'm going to pull that down to 2.5%. We're going to call it $9,375. All right, line H, the next line down, this number right here, this is 19 transactions. So this tells us we've got to have 19 closed units at an average of $375,000 per unit, at an average of 2.5% commission to earn the $174,000 in gross commission that we want to earn. We subtract our expenses, and that's how we make our $100,000. Now, folks, here's the deal. This is $7.1 million. It's all fine and dandy, 19 transaction. I happen to think 19 transactions for a full-time agent is not just doable, but folks, I would expect that. I would expect that if you're a full-time agent, you're selling 15 to 20 homes at minimum per year. That should be your goal if you're doing this full-time. We could stop right here, and many of you would be light years ahead of where you were at the beginning of 2021 with your knowledge around your goals. However, we're going to dig in a little bit deeper. We're going to go a little bit further. All right, so the next line here, this next yellow line, this is asking percentage of business that's going to come from listings versus buyers. Now, for an individual agent, which I know most of you are, a nice, healthy, balanced business is going to be 50% buyers, 50% sellers. So we're going to stick with that to keep it nice and easy. When you get your hands on this spreadsheet, you can mess with these numbers. You can say, well, look, I want to do 70% listings, which would be, holy cow, that would be awesome, right? Listings are money in the bank today. However, to keep things nice and simple, we'll do 50-50. All right, so line K, this line right here, the next thing that it brings up, it's going to tell you that you need to sell 10 listings. Now look, I know 50-50 really, that would bring you at 20, but we're not going to sell a fraction of a listing, and we're always going to round up. So we're going to want you to sell 10 listings. The next line here, line L, this is a conversion rate. So what this is telling you is that for you to sell 10 listings, you actually have to take 14 of them, which means you have to put 14 signs in 14 yards, because what we know is that 4 of them will fall apart. 4 of them will not sell for any reason, right? The sellers will decide to back out, The sellers will have pushed us into overpricing it at such a high rate that nobody even wants the property, or the offers that come in will just not be good enough and the sellers will get frustrated, or there'll be divorce or death or whatever there is. Life happens. So we want you to actually take 14 listings to make sure that you actually can settle 10 of those and get them closed. Now there's another line, we go a little bit deeper, another conversion conversation. This number 18 right here, what this is telling us is number 18. We want you to go on 18 listing appointments, because folks, if you go on 18 listing appointments, what we know is that 14 of them will sign up with you and 10 of them will actually close. Now, you go on 18 listing appointments, 4 people will decide not to work with you. Hate to break it to you folks, you're not everybody's cup of tea. This is a lesson I had to learn the hard way too, because guys, my personality is such that I want everybody to like me. I want you to like me. I want everybody I meet to like me. And when somebody rejects me, I take that personally. However, I had to learn that it wasn't a personal thing. Sometimes we're just not a good fit for each other, and I had to be okay with that. You're gonna have to learn that lesson as well. So we're gonna send you on 18 appointments. You're going to take 14 listings. You're going to close 10 of those listings. Y'all get it? You get where we're going here? Here's the deal. Next up, we've got the buyers down here, same exact ratios. We want to close 10 buyers. We know that we're gonna get 14 buyer clients and 4 of them are gonna do something crazy, buy a new car before closing, or just decide that this is too difficult of a market and they're gonna take a back seat and decide they don't wanna play right now. Totally okay with that. That's why we need 14 buyer clients, because we know that 10 of them will actually close. And then of course, same thing with the 18 right here. We want to send you on 18 buyer appointments. That's 18 buyer consultations. You got to look at it like a baseball player. You want 18 at bats so you can hit 14 of them. 4 of those 14 are going to be foul balls. 10 of them are going to be home runs. That's just the way to look at it, right? So 18 buyer transaction or appointments, 18 listing appointments. That becomes the goal for 2022. Now look, folks, we go back up here to line H, and what we have is like, hey, Jerome, but we want to sell 19 or 20 homes. Yes, that is the goal. However, what we're doing here is we're getting granular. Like, we are looking at this from a perspective of, yes, the result is 19 or 20 transactions. However, the activity becomes the goal, because what we know is if we do the activity, the result happens. Without the activity, the result is impossible. It will not happen. I promise you. Go sit on your couch tomorrow and open up a bag of Cheetos, turn on your favorite Netflix show and binge watch all day. And then let me know how many appointments you set. Let me know how many homes you sell doing that. I can promise you it's gonna be 0. It's just the way it goes. So we want to focus on the 18 buyer transactions, 18 buyer appointments, 18 seller appointments. Now guys, we got a whole other section down here. We're gonna dig a little bit deeper. So what this is telling us is appointments per week, right? So for us to set what amounts to 36 appointments next year, we have to set just under 1 appointment every week. So 0.75 appointments. I would probably round that up and say you need an appointment around every 10 days or so. Like, think about that, right? You got 365 days in a year, you need 36 appointments. We can do some pretty simple math. Every 10 days, you've got to set 1 appointment. That becomes your goal. So that's how I want you to look at this. Every 10 days, 1 appointment has to be set. So when you wake up January 1st, there's about 30 days in a month on average. Oh, look at that, 30 days in a month. Your goal is to set 3 appointments per month. That's your goal on the 1st of every single month in 2022. When you roll out of bed, your goal is to set 3 appointments that month. Now, there's gonna be some months when you set like 5 or 6 and you're hyper motivated. That's okay. It doesn't mean you get to take next month off, because next month you might work really hard and only set 1 appointment. That's okay too. We just keep doing the same things, the same activities. That's where the business planning portion comes in. That's where we got to go to phase 2 of this whole conversation. Now, we got a couple more lines down here. We're going to wrap it up with these. So relationships database. So what we know is that in a, what we call a MET database, that's people who know you, like you, trust you, that for you to do this type of business, you would have to have 380 people in your database that you are working with a 36 touch system or something similar. If you have 380 people and you're working that database properly, that database should produce 36 appointments, right? 28 listings and buyers, and 19 to 20 actual transactions. So if you have 380 people and your database is complete, I encourage you to go back and watch the business planning video and go through the business plan, do the business plan. This is only step one. Identifying the goal is critical and important. However, kind of useless if you don't chart a path and understand the path to how you're going to get to that goal. So 380 people in your database. Let's go down one more line. Let's say you're somebody who says, Adrian, I don't have a database, or my database is like 75 people because whatever that reason might be. Okay, well, this next line says you need 950 people in the next 12 months that you have to meet. This is a 50-to-1 ratio, a 2% conversion. 950 people that you have to talk to in order to get your goal of 19 to 20 transactions. So this is 950 strangers that you have to go out and you have to meet. Now look, let me get my little calculator out here real quick. We're gonna do some quick math for you. So 950 people, we're gonna divide that out by 48 weeks. I'm gonna give you 4 weeks off next year. I'm gonna divide that out by 48 weeks. Folks, what we come to is 19.79. That's 20 new people that you have to talk to every single week. We divide that by 5 work days. It's just under 4. So you have to talk to 4 people every single day. Now here's the deal. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. If you are somebody who's sitting there right now and you're going, I don't think I could talk to 4 new people every day, or I have 380 people, but I don't know what a 36 touch is. Guys, give me a call. Look, 30-minute consultation. It's totally free. We can talk on the phone. I will help point you in the right direction, free of charge, no expectations, no obligations. But guys, this is critical because none of you, I don't think anybody out there spent weeks and weeks and hours on top of hours and all the stress and all the things to get their real estate license and then do nothing with it. I know that's not the case. I know that everybody who got that license had some kind of goal in mind, had a vision, a dream, and they wanted to achieve that and make it possible through real estate. So give me a call. Give me 30 minutes of your time. Let me help point you in the right direction. Because here's the deal. Time's gonna march on. 2021 is over, right? Forget about all that craziness of 2020. Folks, that's like 2 years. Like COVID is 2 years behind us at this point. There's no more excuses. This is the world we live in. And folks, I know tons of agents who are absolutely dominating this market right now. And you can too. But you gotta identify the goal. You gotta have a business plan to follow up on it. Guys, thank you for watching. As always, hit subscribe, hit like. Hope you got something great out of this. And please take me up on my offer. Reach out. Let's have a 30-minute consultation. I'm here to help. Y'all have a great day, a wonderful holiday season. We'll see you soon.